came from a very musical family actually. Both my parents did vocals and piano, and my dad played guitar, and both their families were also very much into music. So when I grew up, there was always the radio on and a record player that was constantly, blasting ABBA and, anything from the Rolling Stones to modern, like 80s pop music at the time. So I think, yeah, that has definitely influenced me a lot. I chose the drums because I was, at a certain point, I was constantly doing like this, on my desk and tapping along to the music, and then at one point when I started getting into more like extreme metal music and stuff, I got some wooden rulers and I was just hitting cardboard boxes and whatever, and so then it became kind of apparent that even though at the time I was doing guitar and piano and other things, that I really wanted to play drums, so that's how it happened. When I began playing, I had a lot of inspiration from the stuff I grew up with, which was pop music and hip-hop, like old school hip-hop. But also a lot of metal. Dave Lombardo was a very big influence to me. Mick Harris, from the first drummer for Napalm Death, and a lot of the old school like thrash and death metal bands at the time. And also I have to mention people like Chad Smith and Tim Alexander from Primus were a big influence, because I was immediately attracted to playing like funky beats. And nowadays I listen to pretty much any genre of music, so there's one of the people that I've really liked a lot recently is I can't remember his name right now, the drummer for Porcupine Tree. What's his name again? Why can't I remember it? Anyway, yeah, so there's him, and in metal there's Martin Axelsson from Opeth that I really like a lot. That's a tough question, man. I mean, they're both so different. I love working in a studio, but I think live is probably more of a release. In the studio you have to be pretty concentrated and focused, and not that you don't have to be live, but live you can let loose a little bit more and let more energy out, I think, so probably live. Well, I mean, the business of music is a necessary evil, so recently Soilwork, my main band, has become self-managed, and I've also always pretty much managed my other band, Scarve, which is more of an underground band, but so I've always been kind of versed in, all the business aspects, and I feel pretty comfortable with it. I think it's if you wanna do something good in music, it's just a thing you have to deal with, and you might as well do it well. I would advise for young drummers, first of all, to try and have an open mind and listen to different styles of music, because the more things you listen to, the more influences you can absorb and get creative with your playing. I would also advise, if they have any chance, to take some lessons, because people that are better than you and that are good teachers can really bring you a lot of good stuff. It's been a great influence to me to have good music teachers and drum teachers, and it really made me get a lot better. So those would be two very important things. And the third thing would be to persevere and just practice a lot. Well, it was a brand that I had tried out in the past, and at a certain point, I can't remember exactly what time this was, but I started really liking them. So because they were kind of an underground brand at the time, and then they started getting bigger and coming out with new stuff, and I really liked what I heard, and I hadn't really found anything that I was 100% satisfied with, and Meinl turned out to be the one. I got to try some stuff, and I was extremely happy with it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Probably the MD20 Heavy Bell ride, because it's such a perfect ride for the style of playing that I have. It has a really nice ping, and it has a really nice ring to it. It's very distinct. In metal music you really need the ride to stick out, because it gets easily covered up by all the noise that's going on. So for that it's perfect, and I also use the ride as a crash in certain rhythms, and it sounds great for that. Not many rides do, so. My ultimate goal would be to continually, meet new challenges. Like playing clinics like I'm doing right now is a challenge for me because I don't have much experience with that. So it's, you know, it's really something that I have to push myself to do. But at the same time, I think I will grow as a musician, and I always want to keep on growing and getting better.
Any last words, final words?
Try Meinl cymbals if you haven't yet.